So, we're off and running here, Philip. That riveting television. Here's what's cool. So, just outside of the fact that, I run Movies Plus, is, do you ever open up, another app and the video now, plays in a little video that goes around? Well, look at on here. I didn't even know this. Movies Plus. I'm on the Steelers app, but Movies Plus is playing in the corner. Um, you know. Well, I know. So the cool thing about it, or whatever, I guess is my point for bringing it up, is that I didn't even know we could do that. So those engineers doing their tech things, making it happen, Captain. So well, welcome to News Made Simple, where we talk about Bitcoin and we say the quiet parts out loud. And we are live on Movies Plus. So this is a new thing. We're going for it, and if you're listening to this later, then you missed out. If you want to hear it as early as possible, then you have to go download the Movies Plus app in any of the app stores, or just go to mymoviesplus.com. You'll be able to see it there. It'll pop up, and you'll go, oh, hey, look, there is the episode that I can listen to now instead of later. Anyways, so, if you want to get a discount on a subscription to Movies Plus, which, by the way, we made this available to anybody, so if you download the app and you're a cheapskate and you want to watch it without paying any money, you can. But if you want to support free speech and vote for free speech this election season, vote with your money and use the promo code Cory, Cory. You'll get, I believe, the price knocked down to $2 a month. So if you can't afford that, then I don't know what you can afford. You honestly should probably be homeless. I'm kidding. You shouldn't be homeless. You have a device in your hands and you're watching this. But really, get one less pumpkin spice latte and, just support free speech instead. Actually, you could probably, for the price of one pumpkin spice latte, you could get half a year of Movies Plus. Yeah, as Phil's in his Carhartt jacket. Um, and also before we get started on the news and what's going on in the world, we want to thank our sponsor, the Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. Get yourself a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet from Shift Crypto. Go to shiftcrypto.ch/Bitcoin Made Simple. Use the promo code Bitcoin Made Simple and get 5% off. And get your coins off the exchange. Protect your coins. Even if you buy them from Swan, a great company like Swan, I'm sure Swan encourages you to take them off the exchange and put them into a hardware wallet. So thank you to our sponsors there. And now let's get, and also one more shout out to Upstream Data and their black box, upstreamdata.ca. Check them out. Right now, Phil, what in the world is going on in the Bitcoin world, in the world at large? Because, the money is getting destroyed by the Federal Reserve. And right now we're looking at, oh wait, no, the dollar is getting stronger. Everyone else's money is getting destroyed, and a little fun thing happened. The last Brexit supporter got sacked in the UK. So what's going on there?
Free and drag the United States into this war to fight it for them. Because that's how we got into World War One and Two. It's always been the Brits. It's always been like a globalist cabal led by the Brits, but they don't have the economic strong arm as the United States military. So they're going to force us into this. And a forced war means money printing from the Fed, quote unquote money printing, to finance that war. Because all this is just a force. Like, what can globalist commies do to force the Fed to pivot? Because as the Fed raises rates, they're basically bankrupting these people that are using offshore dollar markets to print more money than the Fed. But now, as the Fed raises rates, they can't live high on the hog on that cash cow of cheap credit anymore. So they're fighting back by trying to do all these things out of desperation to force that Georgia Maloney has anything to worry about. She just needs to play it safe, play it cool, and do her nationalist pro populist thing, but I guess play it on the down low and let the Fed do her job for her by raising rates and bankrupting these global communists. So that's kind of like the big picture, 30,000 foot view of what's happening globally, macro, geopolitically.
And now here's the funniest part. So that whole time, because this is our first time doing this on Movies Plus, that whole time I am sitting there I'm getting text messages from our partners with Movies Plus who are watching saying, I can't hear Phil. So I'm like, oh crap. So then I was twisting things around to get it figured out, and and I'm sitting here the whole time, and while I'm fixing the audio, Phil, while you're answering, I then cut your audio out, but then they can hear it. So then they're texting me saying, I can hear it now. I can hear Phil now. But then I look up and I can see you talking. I can't hear a word you're saying. So I
Do we need to start over?
No, no, no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
I'll start over.
No, I mean, because I know what you were. The funny thing is, I know what you were saying because we briefly talked about it, but you were more doing that for the audience. But it was just funny because I was sitting here trying to look calm and really panicking and putting everything together, and then like all of a sudden the audio clicked, and you were like, and that's what she is doing right now in what's happening in with the WEF or whatever, and like you wrapped up, and I was like, I could have gone on without saying anything, but we're revealing everything
Perfect.
behind the curtain here because
We're
what the hell?
breaking the fourth wall
Yeah,
for
breaking.
you lovely paid and unpaid Movies Plus subscribers. You're welcome.
Yeah, for you cheapskates that don't want it. No, I'm kidding. I love you cheapskates because I am a cheapskate. Just ask the partners. I don't want to spend any money. Ask my wife. Jesus Christ, she'll be like, "Can we stop and pick up some food for dinner for the kids?" And I'm like, like we have. I
Kids
don't
don't
know.
need to eat.
We have food at home,
You're,
don't we?
you're not that tall, Corey. So like, they're probably not going to get very tall, right?
I'm over 6 foot. And
What? Really?
hmm
Oh no, yeah, I guess that's right.
my
Yeah.
my oldest is gonna be huge. He's going to be probably 6'4", 6'5". The doctor,
Holy shit.
like he measured his entire life in the 99th percentile, and like every time we're like, oh, it'll change, and now he's like, getting older, and we're like, oh no, like I mean, he looks like he's a couple grades ahead. He was telling me he was like at school pickup. He's like, I was talking to this one kid, and he's in the grade above me, and he asked if I was in the grade above him. I was like, well,
Uh,
um. So, anyways,
it's funny.
so
That's the opposite of my little brother. He's short, and it's sad.
by the way, so to chime in here with our partners, so Dave texted me and said this is like Twitter Spaces 2.0. My PTSD is kicking in. Um, whenever we had
That's
that
funny.
failed Twitter Space, and then so Wes had a question. Wes sends in a question. Have you heard about the gold-backed China Russia world currency?
So it's yes, I have. That's what BRICS is gonna do, and it's fucking great. And it was this is kind of like how Russia kind of strong armed everyone because during their invasion, whatever. I mean, yes, it was an invasion, but it was a provoked invasion. During their invasion,
Provasion.
they basic they basically forced everybody on a gold Russia ruble standard, which is pretty base. But everybody wanted their next resources, their oil, their soil fertilizer, whatever, wheat commodities. And they're like, okay, sweet. Got gold or rubles, as I steal from Tom Longo. But that's basically like what they did. And that's why the ruble is like strengthened and recovered so well. And it is a pretty worthy competitor to the dollar. I mean, kind of sort of because the Fed is pulling all the monetary policy strings, and of course the dollar index is the 100 teens or whatever it is now. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. And I think the United States can take notes and is taking notes on how to fix its currency and how to balance its budget. And one of the ways that you do that is that they have a bunch of treasury payouts that they'll have to like roll over. And one way to fix that is part of that coupon that you pay out, that they make due. the way to pay for that is you remonetize gold by paying out some of that treasury coupon in like a 2 5 percentage of gold. So as gold appreciates over time, and this is like with bonds that they'll issue like for 50 and 100 years out on, but you'll appreciate the price of gold and you'll pay with a lesser amount of gold and also less dollars as well because gold is going to appreciate. And I think that they can also do that with Bitcoin, but that would be super bullish for Bitcoin. Um, I know this is a Bitcoin only podcast, but you can't you can't sweep gold under the table. I
Well,
used to say gold is a shit coin. Gold is not a shit coin, and so I feel like a lot of Bitcoin maxis just need to pull their heads out of their ass and face reality. We live in a gold based world. There's 5,000 plus years of history with that, and central banks have been stockpiling it forever. They also like Bitcoin. So if you think that Russia is not mining Bitcoin when they have the marginal cost to produce energy, you need to see a doctor and get your head checked.
I mean,
So,
something to pull on that thread a little bit. They're definitely like I'm convinced China still is. They banned it for consumers and their citizens to do it, but they didn't ban it for themselves. Um,
yeah,
so
they're a
China's
market.
definitely doing it. Russia's definitely doing it. And the evidence to me is the fact that the hash rate, which for those
Let's
that
do
don't
this.
know, the hash rate is at an all-time high, which means it is more difficult now than it has ever been in the history of Bitcoin to mine a Bitcoin. It requires more energy, more electricity. Um, so if you're an idiot like me that bought a Bitcoin miner back in the late spring, you are getting your ass kicked. Um, because yeah, the price of Bitcoin cut in half since I bought the miner, but the the hash rate kept going up, so it's more expensive to mine Bitcoin that's worth less. Um, so you got to wonder, where are all these people coming from that can where's all this hash power coming from that's basically has to be mining at less than 5 cents a kilowatt. um, and to be really profitable it's got to be near, like on an industrial scale it's got to be like 2 cents. That would be the places that can produce energy for free, which would be Russia and China. Well, not for free, but by robbing their
Very cheap. Yeah,
citizens. So, anyways,
yeah. So
um,
Bitcoin wins at the end of the day, but still, like gold is very relevant.
yeah, I mean,
That's
it's
just the
you just can't
reality that we
ignore
live in.
it. It's like, you know, do you want to get to space like without a rocket? Like, not possible. Like, you have to, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to have I want to have a perfect world where like we run on, unicorn farts and our cars, are powered infinitely, blah 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 blah. But like, you have to have progress to get there. You have to burn oil to get there. You have to, and that's a whole other conversation whether or not it's good to burn oil, which I think it is. But uh, you know, to have progress, you have to accept the fact that there's other realities. And one of the realities I did not want to face, which was in the spring, I was like, "There's no way that Bitcoin pulls back any further." Like it went down just because of the war, blah blah blah. But like this is it. This is the moment. These ignoring the macroeconomic factors, and all the different things that were in play, and I was ignoring it. I mean, I ignored it till like almost late summer with you, Phil, and I just like you were like, yeah, dude, like it's gonna be rough. I'd park some cash on the side, and like if I didn't do that, holy crap, I would have got wiped because I think we were at 30K then, and now we're at the purgatory of nineteen
We're
thousand
floating around
dollar
the 20.
Bitcoin. Um,
What, so did I save your portfolio? Did I fucking
um, you saved a
swoop in
lot of
and
it
give you a
because
lifeboat?
yeah, it was just I was being stupid. I was overexposed. Um, and you get into that mindset of like the maxi mindset we were all in of like Bitcoin or nothing, Bitcoin or nothing, and it's like, well, like there are like huge geopolitical things at play here, huge factors across the world, they're weighing in on this, so maybe reel it in just a little bit. And
I mean, it's a little ironic, isn't it? Because reeling it in is having a low time preference.
Yeah.
And everybody gets so distracted by these Bitcoin only companies. I mean, I love them, but they get distracted by the marketing and it just divorces them from reality.
Well,
And
if
that's
you're sitting here
dangerous.
for the if you're here for the number go up only, then you don't have a low time preference
Yeah.
because you are
I mean,
living and dying with the number going up. If you have a low time preference, you'll reality will set in that there's other factors here, other things going on
yeah.
that affect the price of Bitcoin and affect the world at large. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Fed's never gonna not gonna pivot for a while. When do you think interest rates are like at 20-year highs, over seven
Yeah.
percent?
So, yeah, they're not going to lower them until probably the savings rate is uh, 8% again. Because usually when you look at economic crises, the Fed does QE when I'm sorry, when savings rates are above 7%. So until everybody isn't poor anymore and everyone starts saving, maybe that's when they do it. But I don't really think that they pivot and cut rates. If anything, uh, Tom and others say that they can go, especially Daniel DiMartina Booth. She's an amazing follow. She's a former Federal Reserve insider. She worked at the Dallas Federal Reserve Bank, also known as the free market Fed, believe it or not. And they probably won't cut rates. They'll probably stop at 6% and just have them sit there. And that could probably happen within the next 18 months.
18 months.
Or if they do cut, the euro dollar's future curve is where the market is basically predicting and extending out like when the Fed is going to pivot. And I think now it's like the quote unquote pivot will happen sometime next summer. And that pivot to me doesn't look like cutting rates. They're just going to hold them and let the market work itself out. And I mean, who knows how long they hold them?
So what do you
Maybe for the
think?
next 18
What do you
months.
think real estate interest rates will be at?
Uh, I I really don't know. I don't follow that too often. I do know that QT is working in the background. I wrote an article about this on my Substack, which if anybody who's been a Bitcoin Made Simple podcast network listener, I've been AWOL and I've been focusing on my Substack, which is just QPOL. It stands for Quiet Parts Out Loud, QPOL. And I've written 13 issues so far. But on one of them, I wrote about how effective quantitative tightening actually has been. And when it comes to the housing market, it's basically the cost of real estate has been plummeting and the cost of new houses has not been rising. And it's pretty much working in the background. This correction of of, of, of tightening is really sending signals to the market and people are acting accordingly. And sooner the Fed can raise rates, I think the better, because the sooner that we'll be able to just be over and done with all of this.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think like another 20% of like housing is going to hit the market as well, so you'll have an extra supply. So it's yeah, hopefully real estate goes down. And if you want to talk about if gold's a shitcoin, real estate is a shitcoin, right? That's it, because of low interest rates and cheap credit. It's been like this bubble, and there's a saying that the housing market is the economy, and that's not true when you have real interest rates.
yeah,
So I think that's a well overdue corrected market that hopefully we'll see sooner than later as the Fed keeps raising rates.
yeah. I mean, in the the interest rates for for houses, I'm coming up on a year of when since we bought our house, and the interest rates have doubled, more than doubled since then. Um, so I don't know. I just can't imagine they go a whole lot higher. They probably incrementally, and like you said, maybe next summer they just stop raising. But it's crazy to think though. I mean, back when my parents bought their first house, which was In 1982, their interest rate was 18%.
Yeah, yeah, that used to be normal. I was in a space for green candle investments. Got run by my friend Brandon, and I share my Substack pieces over on his Substack. But there was this lady who has been in real estate for a few decades, and she's been on HGTV and stuff like that. But yeah, she was talking about like 18% was like normal back then. And again, this just all goes back to like cheap, easy money and low interest rates. And it's like the same concept applies of like we've only seen like a bull market in sovereign debt until now. So again, like the Fed is just like giving us the correction to reality that we have so desperately needed because the Fed isn't being run by globalists anymore. No Ben Bernanke's, no Janet Yellen's. We have Jerome Powell. And when he was a young pup on the FOMC board, he was saying, "Yeah, this near zero interest rate is gonna really hurt us." And so I'm in Tom Longo's private Slack group, and some guy within there did like a uh, a genealogy of Jerome Powell, and he is an eighth generation Virginia aristocracy kind of guy. The people that funded the American Revolution and said, "Fuck you, Crown. We don't want any of your bullshit."
That's
So
him.
this just this just goes, yeah, that's Powell, and this just goes to show that we have American sovereigntists running the show, and as polluted as Congress is because it's being ran by global communists out of Davos, they don't have control of the money transmission mechanism, which is the Federal Reserve System and the commercial banks, who happen to be the shareholders of the Federal Reserve. And Powell comes from private equity, and he is a lawyer, so he knows how to say the things that he needs to say to get reappointed, and he knows what strings to pull in favor of the survival of the American economy as we know it.
Yeah. By the way, another shout out. Got to throw out there that you guys need to get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. Go to shiftcrypto.ch/Bitcoin Made Simple. Use promo code Bitcoin Made Simple. Get 5% off. Secure your keys off the exchange. It also helps us, help support us. Um, as we they sponsor us, and the more that you guys patronize them, the more they support us, the more content we create. Yada yada yada. But yeah, it is interesting to see that we have a I mean, it's kind of weird because like I don't. The Fed should be audited. The Fed is a joke. The Fed, is like ridiculous. But it also is kind of funny because it's like, oh well, like they are kind of like really pro-American. Like they're
Yeah, Jamie Dimon stood up and said ESG and us not investing in natural gas, oil and gas, and all this stuff. That would be the path. That would be the a road to hell for the United States.
uh,
So all of these like greeny, commie, just vandals within Congress are do not have an America first mindset. It is not in the national interest, and they're trying to basically tell Jamie Dimon of all people, "Hey, you're going to divest from just sound, reliable energy, right? And you're going to invest in ESG, and the Federal Reserve is going to put climate change policy first, right?" Fucking no.
no way, no way, Jose. That yeah, I mean, it just makes me
And
wonder.
they don't have to be like rah 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 love America, love Americans. I mean, I think some of them kind of are, but this all just goes down to what is in their incentive. Who are their shareholders, and
Where
does
did
like
their
the death
incentives align?
spiral?
Yeah.
Yeah, does the death spiral of the commercial banking sector benefit them? No.
Huh.
The
Interesting.
largest lobbyists in the world are the American commercial banks. It's not the military-industrial complex. It's nothing else. Who do you think funds those other complexes? The banks. So why would they forfeit and bend the knee and give up all supremacy and all power that they have for this this global outfit out of Davos?
Yeah, I don't
They're
know.
not on the same team. Like, wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, everybody. Um, so some parting thoughts, Phil. What do you recommend your fellow Bitcoin plebs to do other than to get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet and other than signing up for Movies Plus, where they can check out all the great content that we have, like podcasts like this, live events. We'll be doing more live events. Um, we also have, our first original film, Welcome Home. We have, did we officially announce it? We kind of did, but you're gonna see a series coming out called Q Sent Me that is gonna blow your mind. It is about the Q shaman from the January 6th uh, insurrection, and yeah. Anyways, we'll have more info on that, but get yourself a subscription, sign up with promo code Cory, get a discount, and join us on this. Vote for free speech. But what other than that, Phil? What would your parting words for the plebs be? What should they be doing with their Bitcoin, with their money, and with their life?
uh, Not financial advice, obviously. I'm just being rational, I guess. Don't do anything with your Bitcoin. Just keep it parked there. And be dollar heavy, be cash heavy. Buy Bitcoin whenever you can. This is the buying opportunity of a lifetime, sub 20 grand. So, I mean, I wish I had cash flow to do that right now. I personally don't. But also find ways to earn Bitcoin as well. And just have these honest conversations that Cory and I are having now, and be able to open up your mind to the more nuance of the world, and have this dialogue. Everything that Cory and I talked about today, have that public conversation on Twitter or anywhere else, and get these ideas into the zeitgeist, because we can actually control the reality that we live in if these ideas do populate into the greater conscience of society, and maybe that kind of gets up to the politicians. Even if they have these ideas themselves, they're not saying the quiet parts out loud. But if they hear us say the quiet parts out loud, maybe they'll be even more motivated to get shit done. Even if at the end of the day it is in their best incentive to not fuck over America.
Yep.
So maybe that sounds naive of me to say, but all I have is good vibes and hopium, if you call it. But this is all based in just objective facts and what I see on the daily, what I write about on the daily. Again, shameless plug. If you want to be in the know what's going on in geopolitics and macro and Bitcoin and culture, yeah, go to my Substack, QPOL, QPOL, 5 parts out loud, because I'm saying it over there. I just dropped a piece yesterday, and I plan on dropping another one tomorrow, being Friday. So head on over there, and I'll be sharing those ideas over there and over here as time moves on.
Yeah, and yeah. Also, the more you support Movies Plus, the more you can help Phil get a cash flow so that he can buy more Bitcoin. Because
So,
then Phil will be just full time working for Movies Plus, plus dabbling in his Substack and the podcast. So we appreciate you guys for listening. Thanks, as always, to our sponsor, the Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. And we will talk to you guys next time when we say the quiet parts out.